Hello everyone. Now today again I had given the told that about the theorems of 10.89 and the one more theorem that angle the semicircles. So we will first discussing about the theorem. Then with the help of the theorem we will try to solve the 10.5 questions. All questions of 10.5 is based on the theorem. Without applying the theorems, it is it is very difficult to solve the questions. So we will solving the theorems by using the theorems. We will solve the theorems. First understand the theorem, then we see that what is the theorem. I already told, but still the again before starting this one, this is the 10.8 theorem. Angle subtended by the R at the center is the double the angle formed in the remaining part of the circle. It means the angle which is formed at the center will be double than the angle which is formed in the remaining part of the circle. Then there is one more theorem 10.9. Angle in the same segment of the circles are equal. It means that if we get two segment equals, then the angles will be equal. This we are also discussing. And this I want to explain this angle in the semicircle is right angle. This many students do not find this theorem. This is the one theorem, and this will be helping us to solve different questions of exercise, and it will help you to solve in the higher classes also. This theorem was used in the class 10 also, it was used. Then this 10.10 is removed from the syllabus. So these three theorems first we'll discuss there, then we'll see the exercise. First one, 10.8 theorem says that 10.8 theorem says that according to this theorem, if there is one circle and here it is the angle formed. Suppose this is the AB. Angle formed at the center. The angle formed at this center point and the angle formed at the center O will be double the angle formed in the remaining part of the circle. This means what? We'll take one example. Suppose here the angle is 200. This angle is the 100. So this will be how much? 200. This circle suppose this AOB is one angle, this O, this is suppose C, and according to this theorem the angle formed on the any part of the circle, suppose here angle is formed, it is 50 degree, then it will be double than angle formed in the remaining part of the circle. Means the O angle will be 100. I hope you understood. If this angle is a 50, this will be 100. The angle at the center will be double than the angle formed in the remaining part of the circle. Or in other words, you can say that the angle formed in remaining part of the circle will be half of the AOB because it is formed at the center. And same is also applied if the angle is formed here also. Suppose this is 50, then this also will be the 100. The angle formed at the any part of the circle will be half of the half with the center angles. Center angle will be double than the angle formed in the remaining part of the circle. This theorem is clear. 10.8. Now we see the angle in the same segment. This is the 10.9 theorem. This says that we do not have to study the proofs of this theorem of 10.9. 10.8 proof is given in the book. You can refer in the book. If still there is doubt, you can consider with me. Now you see the angle in the same segment. How we understand angle in the same segment? Suppose this is one circle and this is the one angle formed at the A. This is the AB. Suppose this is the point C and this is the point D. Now, angle in the same segment means what? Segment means this should form at the one chord should be there and the angle should be there on the, I already told what is the segment. The one chord chord, and the angle should form at the circumference of the circle. If C and D is formed at the circumference of the circle, so these two angles will become automatically equal. Suppose this angle is the 30. This will also become 30. And what reason will write? Suppose this angle is name of this angle is ACB, and this angle is the ADB. ACB will be equal to ADB. Why? Because here two segments are equal. AB, and the AB is the one segment, and AB is the one segment. These two parts are common. AB, and the angle C, angle D, they are formed on the circumference of the circle. If C is 30, D will be also the 30 degree. This is called an angle in the same segment. Segment means chord, angle formed at the circumference of the circle. To understand this concept, or to easily identify this theorem, whenever you have got the circle, what you have to see, these two letters should be common, and the angle we see and D, it should form at the circumference. If you are getting, then you can use the angle in the same segment are equal. I hope this theorem is clear. Now there is one more theorem, angle in the same circle. So this is before 10.10. 10.10 is removed from syllabus. 10.10, before there is one line is given. Angle in the semicircle is right angle. This is also very important theorem. And suppose this is a circle. To apply this theorem, angle in the semicircle is right angle. So it says that suppose this is the diameter. To apply angle in the semicircle, there should be always diameter. Diameter always pass from the center of circle. I explain in the introduction part of this chapter. Now, if the angle is formed here, this will be 90 degree. This is called angle in the semicircle. There should be one diameter. With the diameter, the angle should form on the circumference of the circle. This angle will be 90. This is called angle in the semicircle. This ACB will be 90 degree. So by using the theorem, angle in the semicircle. Same way here also it will be 90 degree, because this is the angle in the semicircle is the right angle. So here ADB will also become 90 degree, because this is also forming with the help of diameter AB, and angle is formed on the circumference. So ADB will be also the 90 degree. Understood? So there should be one diameter, the angle should form on the circumference. Then if this happens, then we can apply the theorem. Angle ACB is 90 degree and ADB is the 90 degree. Now after this, this theorem is 90 degree, and it doesn't mean we can form the diameter this side also. This is also 90 degree, because this AB is the diameter of the circle. Here also it will be 90 degree. This is also angle in the semicircle. There should be one diameter and angle should form on the circumference. This is also the angle in the semicircle, the 90 degree. So I hope you understood this all three theorems. Now we will discussing the 10.11 and 10.12 theorems. 10.11 and the 10.12 theorems. The 10.11 and 10.12 theorems is based on the cyclic quadrilaterals. Now you may be surprising, what is a cyclic quadrilateral? So cyclic quadrilaterals, first you have to understand what are the cyclic quadrilaterals. Cyclic quadrilaterals are those if the quadrilateral vertex of the quadrilaterals lies on the circumference of the circle, it is called the cyclic quadrilateral. Once again, if the vertex of the quadrilaterals they lies on the circumference of the circle, it is called the cyclic quadrilateral. So to understand this one, we will make one circle, and this is the quadrilateral. AB, CD. Now you can see this circumference is lying on the circumference of the circle. this vertex of the quadrilateral should be on the circumference of the circle. If this is this type of quadrilateral form, then we call it cyclic quadrilateral. Then only we will call it cyclic quadrilateral if it is circumference like on the circumference of the circle. And the cyclic this theorem says that the sum of the pairs of the either pair of the opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral is 180 degree. It means that the opposite. This is the cycle. First, the cyclic quadrilateral understood. Now, the cyclic quadrilaterals, the theorem 10.11 says that if in the any quadrilateral which is forming or the vertex having the vertex on the circle, if its opposite angle means angle A plus angle C, angle B plus angle D, this will be 180 degree. If this is equal to the sum of the opposite angle is the 180 degree, then it says that it is a cyclic quadrilateral. Now, if the in cyclic quadrilateral, the opposite angle will be how much? Angle A plus angle C, angle B plus D will be 180 degree. So this is the property of the cyclic quadrilateral. Opposite angle sum will be 180 degree, and the vertex should lie on the circumference of the circle, and we call it the cyclic quadrilateral. Now, question comes to prove the cyclic quadrilateral. We have to prove the cyclic quadrilateral. Then what we have to prove? We have to prove that angle A plus angle C should be equal to 180. If we prove this one, angle A plus angle C is 180 degree, or angle B plus angle D is 180 degree, then we call as it a cyclic quadrilateral. So in the exercise there will be one question to prove the cyclic quadrilateral. So what you have to do? You have to prove the opposite angles should be equal to 180 degree. If the opposite angle is equal to 180 degree, then you can say that it is cyclic quadrilateral. So I hope you understood this concept. What is the cyclic quadrilateral? So this all theorem we discussed. This theorem we'll use in the exercise. I suggest you please follow the video and try to solve the question by using the theorem. If you are missing this year, next year you are going to suffer. This much only I can say. Rest is you are a sensible people. Now, first question of the exercise 10.5. Suppose this is the quadrilateral, this is a circle. This is a figure given in the book, and this angle is how much? 30 degree. This angle how much it is given? So this is given 60 degree, and this is given 30 degree, and we have to find a value of ADB. This question will be solved by using 10.8 theorem. What I told, the angle formed at the center will be double the angle formed in the remaining part of the circle. So this angle AOB, you can say it is a center angle because it is formed at the center. This AOB will be double than the which angle ADB because it is formed in the remaining part of the circle. So by using theorem within the, so what you will write here? Here it is given that this point is B and this point is C. So we will write here angle AOB is 60 degree given in the question, and angle BOC is given 30 degree in the question. AOB and BOC is given 30 degree. So on the we have to find a value of AOC. So AOC will be how much? AOB plus BOC, it is equal to 60 plus 30, that is the 90 degree. 90 degree is the 90 degree we got as the AOB. So AOC is equal to AOB plus BOC is equal to 60 plus 30, 90 degree. Now this is the value of AOC, but we have to find the value of ADB. So we had studied with this theorem, the angle formed at the center is the double the angle formed in the remaining part of the circle. So this is the theorem which that you have to write the statement of the theorem 10.8. The angle formed by the arc at the center is the double the angle formed in the remaining part of the circle. That 10.8 statement you can write, I think, na? You can write from the book. Theorem 10.8. You do not write the 10.8 theorem in the book examination. This I had written that you can write the line from the theorem. Otherwise, you will write a statement in examination. You will not write theorem 10.8, 10.2, 10.3. This should be very clear. Now AOC is equal to 2 times ADB. Now AOC is how much? 90. 2 times ADB. Now 2 will come down. ADB will be 90 upon 2. So ADB will be equal to how much? 45 degree. 45 degree, because this part here, the angle at the center will be the half of the angle formed in the remaining part of the circle. So we got the 10.5 question solved. Now we see the 10.5 question number 2. It says that we have the so this is clear over. Now in that question it is given that chord of the circle, I am reading that question, the chord of the circle is equal to the radius of the circle. Means this is the question number 2 and the figure is not given, we have to make a figure. Chord of the circle is equal to radius of the circle, and find the angle subtended by the chord at the point on the minor arc and also at the point on the major arc. So minor arc angle we have to find and major arc angle we have to find. So we will make one first figure. It is said that there is one chord, AB is the chord and this O is the center. So it is said in the question the chord is equal to radius. Chord is equal to radius. AOB is the radius, AB is the chord. This all are equal to each other. And we have to find the angle formed at the major arc, angle formed subtended by the arc at the minor arc. So first, before making that arc, you understand this one. It is according to question that radius is equal to the chord. So can we write here AO is equal to OB is equal to AB, because AB is the chord, OA and OB are the radius, they are equal to each other, and we will make the arc also. So here the arc will be ABC and this is the arc at the minor arc. So ADB, this is the arc, angle subtended by the arc. ADB is the minor arc and ACB is the major arc. So you can write angles subtended by the minor arc is the ACB and the angle subtended by the chord on the minor arc. Angle at the minor arc, the angle is the ACB. ACB is the which angle? Major arc, because it is a bigger arc, and ADB is the minor arc. Understood now? So now we solving this question we will take here. If OA is equal to OB is equal to AB, if all radius is equal to R, can we write angle AOB, triangle AOB, if the all sides are equal, then triangle AOB is what? Equilateral triangle. equilateral triangle. And we know that in an equilateral triangle, all angles sum is how much? 60 degree. So therefore we can write AOB is equal to how much? 60. This will be also 60, this will be also 60, this also will be 60 degree. So we got AOB equal to 60 degree, because in equilateral triangle all angles are equal, so all angles is equal to 60 degree. Now this angle we got 60 degree, this is the center angle. And now we'll use which theorem? The angle formed subtended by this at the center is double the angle formed in the remaining part of the circle. So we can find the value of ACB, major arc we will find first. So major arc. The major arc, it is subtended. The major arc subtended which angle? ACB. So it will be equal to, now this is the major arc ACB. Now this we have to find the angle at the major arc ACB. So we had studied the theorem, the center angle is the double of angle ACB. Again you have to write the 10.8 theorem statement. Theorem 10.8. I am writing here theorem 10.8. You have to write the statement, I already told. Now this angle is how much? 60. We had to find out this angle here. This will be 2 times ACB. ACB will be how much? 60 divided by 2, 30 degree is the answer. So this is the angle at the minor arc, major arc. Now to find a minor arc angle, you have to always refer one thing. One thing should be very clear. This ADB is the minor arc, and the minor arc, there is one problem. Before finding the minor arc, we will find the reflection angle of 60 degree. First we will find the reflection angle of the 60 degree, then we will find the angle at the here. So first we will find reflection angle. So how to find reflection angle? I already told, 360 minus 60 degree. So reflection AOB is equal to 360 minus 60 degree is equal to how much? 300. Now we will apply the theorem. Now angle ADB, this is the minor arc angle, is equal to the reflection angle, reflection AOB is 2 times angle ADB. ADB. This angle is how much? 300. And this is the 2 times of ADB. So ADB will be how much? Reflection angle AOB will be 300. Now reflection angle will be the double the angle in the form in the remaining part of the circle. So AOB is 300. This is 2 times of ADB. So the ADB will be 300 divided by 2 is equal to ADB. Now ADB will be how much? And the ADB will be 150. This is the angle formed at the minor arc. The ADB you can write here. Angle separated the minor arc is the 150. This is the angle separated the major arc is the 30 degree. So this complete the question. Second of the exercise 10.5. Now before now we have the next question we have to take I hope this is clear to everyone. Now we will take the next question, third question of the exercise. So third question figure is already given, and you can read that there is one angle PQR. It is given 100 degree, and we have to make find the value of the angle POR. So how to find that POR? We have to use the same theorem which we have just now used. So I am reading that question. In figure 10.37, this figure is given in the book. An angle PQR, which angle? PQR, it is given 100 degree. and we have to find the values of angle OPR, and the OP and OQ are the radius of the circle. So this is the one figure. Q, P, and this is the R. O, and this is the 100 degree. And to find angle OPR, we have to find a value of OPR. This is a very simple question. OPR. Now what we will do? This is the angle formed at the remaining part of the circle. And this is the center angle. So we, according to theorem, if this is 100, the center angle will be double. So POR will be the 200. Very simple. So we can write here angle PQR is the 100 degree given the question. The angle POR, this is QR, POR, will be 2 times angle PQR. And again you will write the theorem 10.8 statement here. Theorem 10.8 statement. I told write theorem statement, not write theorem 10.8. POR will be 2 multiply 100 is equal to 200 degree is the POR value. But now you can see this the POR is a small triangle also. And we know that all three angles of POR will be 180. So if one angle is 200, it is not possible because the sum of the angles of a triangle is the 180 degree, and here we got 200. It is not possible. This means this angle is more than 180 degree. It is clearly means that it is the reflection angle. So now we will convert this reflection angles. We have to change the reflection angle. So I told how to change. You have to minus subtract from 316. So this is the reflection angle. This is the reflex POR. Now POR will be 360 minus 200. So what is the answer? 160 is the answer. Now we got this non-reflection angle 160. Now you can use the triangle POR. So now you can, before using this triangle, you can see that POP and OR are the radius. OP is equal to OR, radii of the circle. So if these two sides are equal, because radius is equal in any part of the circle, if these two sides are equal, we studied the one theorem in the 7th chapter. If the sides are equal, their opposite angle will be equal. So angle opposite to equal sides are equal. Angle opposite to equal sides are equal. So by using the theorem OPR, ORP, and we will write here angle opposite to equal sides. Equal sides are equal. Now we will take on triangle POR. OPR, ORP, and POR. All angles sum is equal to how much? 180. And these two angles are equal. So in place of ORP, I had written the OPR because these two angles are equal. So OPR and the OPR, because both are equal, so we can change. And this OPR is how much? 160. You have to use the 160 here because this so all angle sum is equal to 180 degree. 180. Now so 160 will go this side. We can subtract. So 2 times OPR will be 180 minus 60. And 2 times OPR is equal to how much? 20 degree. OPR will be how much? 20 divided by 2, 10 degree. 10 degree is the answer. So this completes question number 3. Now this completed question number 3. Now from the fourth. So this is completed the fourth question. Now I think from the till the third question we had completed, and the fourth question onwards we'll solve in the next class. So till then you can complete your copy, revise the theorems, and study well, and try to solve the questions, practice the question. As much you practice, you will be more benefited. Thank you. Have a nice